Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video I'll show you how I make this waistcoat. This waistcoat has 3 front buttons with the buttonholes, 2 bust darts, and the back is quite high. Now I'll show you how I make this waistcoat.
I'm using this blouse to create a pattern for my waistcoat. Now I'll create a pattern for my waistcoat on this blouse. First I'm adjusting the neckline. Next I'm adjusting hemline. Next I'm adjusting hem length on both sides. Next I'm adjusting back hem length. Next I will trace a pattern for my waistcoat. First I will trace front pattern. I'm using this plastic sheet and a pen. Next I will trace back pattern. I'm folding this blouse in half so I can trace the back pattern from this blouse. Next I'm cutting out my pattern pieces from this plastic sheet. I'll be using black cotton fabric to make my waistcoat. I have cut back pattern already on a fold, so it's one full piece. And I have added 1 centimeter seam allowance, and I'll be cutting 2 pieces for the back, and I have cut 4 pieces for the front, so I create lined waistcoat. I have cut 2 back pattern pieces and 4 front pattern pieces to create lined waistcoat. Now I'll sew these pattern pieces together. First I'll sew side seams and shoulder seams on the lining pattern pieces. Here's my finished first waistcoat layer. Next I'm trying this layer on, so the wrong side is on the outside, and I will do adjustments on this waistcoat. First I'm creating a bust dart on this waistcoat. Next I'll adjust armhole width. Also I have taken in both side seams, so I have a very fitted waistcoat. Next I'm pinning armhole width inside. Also I'm adjusting neckline. Also do same armhole adjustments at the back. Now I'll alter my pattern. First I'm altering 2 side seams. I'm putting those 2 side seams together and I'm cutting off excess fabric, leaving 1 centimeter for seam allowance. Next I'll do adjustments for the neckline for the front and back. I'm removing all side seam pins off and I'm making adjustments for the front and back neckline. I'm cutting all excess fabric off, leaving 1 centimeter for the seam allowance. Next, I will trace this bust dart on both front button pieces. Next, I will alter front and back armhole edges. Adding 1 centimeter for the seam allowance, and I'm cutting all excess fabric off at the front and at the back. I did same adjustments for all front button piece layers and all adjustments on the back button piece layers. Next, I will sew my waistcoat together. First, I'm sewing bust darts. After I sewed all of the bust darts on all of the layers, next I will sew all of the side seams and shoulder seams on both layers, on a lining layer and on a top fabric layer. Next, I'm ironing flat all of the seams. And here are my finished 2 waistcoat layers, lining layer and top fabric layer. I'm putting these 2 layers together so the right side is inside. And I'm pinning all of the edges together all around the waistcoat. Next, I'll sew these 2 layers together all around the waistcoat, except there. I am sewing 1 centimeter from the edge. This is how it looks after I sewed both layers together. Next, I'm cutting off excess fabric on the front hem, so they're nice and sharp on the right side. And I'm making a little notches at the back hem so it bends easily. Also, I'll do the same on the neckline. Next, I'm turning my waistcoat to the right side. Sharpening all of the edges and sharp corners with a pin. Next, I will sew 1mm top stitch all around waistcoat edge. And this is how it looks after I sewed 1mm top stitch all around waistcoat edge. Next, I'll sew together armhole edges. I'm folding armhole edges to the left side, approximately 5mm each edge, and I'm pinning both edges together all around the armhole. This is how it looks after I pinned armhole edges together all around. Next, I'll sew 1mm top stitch all around the armhole, and I'll repeat same on other armhole. Next, I'm sewing on my label on a back neckline. This is how it looks after I sewed my label on. Next, I will sew a buttonholes, 3 buttonholes at the front and 3 buttons. This is how it looks after I sewed buttonholes on. Next, I'm cutting open all of the buttonholes. And cutting out all of the excess fabric inside in the buttonholes, so it looks like that. Next, I'm sewing on all of the buttons. And last thing what I need to do is iron my waistcoat flat. And here's my finished lined waistcoat. If you have any questions how I made this lined waistcoat, please comment down below in a comment box. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Love, Anita.